on that ability. So Grace really knew what he wanted. He takes the Cassio that in lane is going to be supremely powerful. Teamfight SKT will have a lot of options, but this is an interesting final draft, Valdez, and the Fiora goes unpicked.
Definitely some surprising stuff back and forth. You mentioned generally looking forward to this one. Interesting pick bound and Jin Air stepping up to SKT. Let's do it for game 3.
There we go. I was giving them a pity one, but they worked it out.
Anyone on the stream heard that one. So thank you for the help, Papa Smithy, as Teddy is going to be just fine here. Or is he? Okay, has to flash after skilling his Q and picking up a Doran's ring. They wanted to punish him here.
That was some just desserts. Look, I like it when someone gets their just desserts. He saw the large model of the Nautilus and said, ooh, I can get some mana flow band stacks and some gold. And Nautilus said, ooh, I can get a flash.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll take flash every time.
That is Teddy, just interestingly, maybe he skilled it up first. You never want to do that, guys. Pro tip, wait until you get into lane to skill up your thing, and always use the control buttons to skill up your thing. You don't want to be that guy that's awkwardly trying to level up your ability with your mouse pointer.
In spring, when LS was around, you didn't want to be that guy that took Scorch. Scorch was definitely at a very low power level before, but it got buffed, extra 5 damage at level 1. And when you can proc it as often as you can, that's more significant than perhaps your facetious put forward. So going to be more Scorch. You see Linderong has it. Grace has it. Grace's job is to keep Faker at low health the entire laning phase. And if he denies an Aftershock proc and maxes E, that should be pretty easy. It's targeted, Valdez. People want to talk about, this is a nice trade from Faker. Hard to get even.
But look at this. If that poison hit, could have gotten a little bit tricky there. Grace was getting low on mana, though.
It tells you how the matchup is, that a nice trade is even health at the end of it. But that's this is a dominant laning phase choice from the Cassio and a straight lock-in. And that's with teleport. Doesn't even have a combat spell to win this lane. Level 2 advantage, not a level 1, but won't be taken down. If anyone's at home, be like, why haven't the casters talked about Doran's Ring Ezreal? It is the first time I've seen this, but it's along the school of thought of Doran's Ring Misfortune and Doran's Ring Jin, in that it's for the mana regen. There's so much flat mana regen on the ability that it's to get 2 potions in case an all-in doesn't go your way. You don't have to back. You have 2 potions in order to regen 300 odd health, and it's mana regen to pilfer items. So it's not about the stats. It's not standard, but it is something that I think more people should consider, as it just provides the 2 potions that can often be the difference between a won and a lost laning phase.
Absolutely. So definitely bring that into your arsenal if you guys are playing Ezreal. But take a look at this, just dominance in the bottom lane still from the side of Jin Air, and they're going to use that to get Malrong over and get a quick advantage.
It's pretty hard for Klid to path this game because he's on Skarner, so obviously level 6 wants to power farm. But unfortunately, his bot lane 2v2 is really weak compared to the enemy 2v2, so we already saw these plays in the previous game. Game number 1, I believe, with Grace and Malrong roaming down to get turret plates. Rakan without Xayah is pretty weak and pretty susceptible. The all-in onto either of these members is going to be big, and that's with Teddy's flash down, Valdez. So there's no surprise that Jin Air returns the greatest hits of what has worked this series, which is trying to get advantages around bot side.
It's definitely a good sign that Jin Air come into summer up against SKT and they say, yeah, everybody knows us for playing slow. How about we up the tempo a little bit and see what happens? So far, it's been only good stuff, really. I mean, most of the time here in this series. So good to see that they're really trying to make it happen.
Double scuttle. Klid was hoping he could get in there, but Tail of Blades Rek'Sai, and there's just not lanes to back him up. Bot lane.
Oh boy, Mana has to flash away. The Ignite is
live.
ticking, but he should live, as he is, you know, he's just trying to stand in lane.
He can't do anything in lane. He provides no lane presence. That's why we were surprised to see the Rakan takeaway, Valdez. If you're going to go Rakan Ezreal, you're going to lose. That's how it goes. Doesn't help that his lane partner flashed him.
Well, that's been bugging them for a while. As Mata still around, did have a couple of potions, so was able to not back just yet.
Okay, he's going to need to pop both of those. There is that second potion. Owen's Ring feeling pretty good right now that he actually could keep the second potion going. Flash will be up soon, but no breathing room at all for Teddy and Mata.
Yeah, you can see that he's forced to stay. Wanted to back, but just too fast of a push there from Root and Kellen. They force him to stay. No cannon wave just yet. Maybe this next one will be it. He will go for his TP there.
Rek'Sai could just spend the entire game mid-bot lane with his advantage, but he's going to gank top lane instead.
Khan does have his flash here. And Narang is going to pull the trigger there on his own flash. Khan goes for that one. Now a bunch of damage from Linderong, but not quite enough.
Seemed like a pretty poor communication with Linderong, because I don't think he had his first Q cooldown right as he could have used it. And then it's a flash for flash that helps Linderong, but it does relieve a bit of pressure from mid and bot lane, which are kind of in disarray before this moment. It's one of those things where if you trade flash for flash and Linderong doesn't have to flash, he could get all in.
Flash forward here, and he's going to pick it up, gets the knock up. And first blood goes to Linderong, who makes it look easy against Khan.
And that's a successful gank from Malrong. If you're going to trade jungler flash for top flash and give your top lane a flash advantage, that's what could happen. Does it happen reliably? No. But Khan's caught napping. Big moment for Jinair and Linderong.
Linderong sometimes struggling, was definitely struggling in game number 2 on the Aatrox, but gets a lot of help from his jungler. And this time, with an Aatrox that gets ganks versus an Aatrox that does not at all and gets only ganked, you guys can begin to see the difference.
And now there's kind of 3 Forest Fires, top, mid, and bot lane, and 1 Skarner ultimate, and 1 Skarner that could be deep water Valdez. Nice all in here. Hits everything, finishes off the kill, overkills by plenty. He was already calling it early. He was calling solo kill from the start.
Yeah. That's all he said. He's like, solo kill. That's it.
I heard top something, and I knew that was top solo kill. Nice moment there for Linderong, who didn't have a lot to cheer about in spring season. I love the fact that Jinair is not overjoyed. Why should they be? They've been the better team so far in this best of 3.
Gotta love the immense focus from the side of Linderong after that one. Definitely something I always love to see, as now Khan is angry. You don't want to see him when he's angry, but we'll see what he can do in this lane. He's still going to be ahead in CS, as you do when you are on the cannon, but definitely a much better time now for Linderong on Aatrox.
Klid is really hating his life. He has a mana Ezreal in the bot lane with just tier and half of a Shane.
Blue Ezreal.
His Rakan doesn't have flash. His mid lane is a champion who's been well controlled, the laning phase. That's the reality of Cassio into Sylas, and his top just got solo killed. So where do you go to get an advantage? Let's see how the setups will be, because right now, he's not going to have a red buff either.
It's really hard when none of your lanes are winning. Just in general, for everybody on the Rift. Just to put it, very simply, and that means that you can get Kellen to leave Root down there, roam on the red buff. Skarner's not going to have that. Not able to finish his jungle item, just kind of chilling here. And still waiting for that level 6 Skarner gank. We saw a lot of aggression from Malrong in game number 2 on the Skarner, but Klid not having that same kind of luxury in this game.
Top side. Dunk is going to hit the Infernal Chain, but no kill potential. Didn't mention it, but it's actually win lane cannon as well. This is not an AP cannon. This is on-hit cannon. Looking to go for what I imagine is the same build we saw from Cuvée, Blade, Wits End, Rage Blade in some order. Probably going to be a later Wits End. It's only a single magic damage champion on the side of Jinair. So losing flash, not being able to overextend and being targeted, there's a chance that Khan can't provide anything as the game goes on.
Take a look at this. They read where that ward is, and now with the Chilling Smite and the ultimate coming on in, but he's going to get stunned, and Klid comes in for the alley-oop, and another guy is going to get in there as now the mid laner, and there is Linderong to get that 1 kill, but he is easily going to be punished here at the backside of it, as Faker is able to pick up 1, as well as Klid, and Grace not able to help out much.
Michael Douglas said greed is good, but in this case, it's too much greed coming through from Jin Air. You are right, they make the right read on where the ward is. This play to this point is fine, but at some point, you don't have vision on Skarner. If he's bot side, you're done. That means they trade down around one of their areas of strength and actually allow Khan some incidental gold and bails them out of a bad situation.
Linderong himself at least was able to barely pick up that kill towards the end, but if the Kennen got even a little bit farther out of the Infernal Chains, he would have been safe, and that would have been a 0 for 2. So now Jin Air not willing to take their foot off the pedal. They immediately go to the Rift Herald here at 10 minutes, and they're going to take it here with ease.
Now this is something you do like. This is aggression, not greed. The reason why the previous play is greed is make the same play, but then miss the Prey Seeker back away. There are objectives in 2019 Values. It's not like before where you're like, why did I waste my time?
Yeah.
There's these turret plate things. You would have got a couple. Kennen wouldn't have been near the turret. Instead, they're going to get the turret plates anyway, but they do inject needed gold into the side of SKT because of their greed.
That they do. If they had stayed up there in the top side and taken a couple of turret plates, that Rift Herald on the backside, it would have taken down the turret. And that could have made things very interesting to take down a turret this early on in the game and give all of that gold over to the Aatrox.
Kill also means no gold difference between Faker and Grace despite the matchup. So grinning and bearing it, Faker has done a very admirable thing. This is exactly what you want from him, about 15 CS down, but also making a map play, given that Cassio's one disadvantage is when she's not just there whacking away on the Sylas in range versus melee, she can be pushed and roamed on. So good roam timing from Faker means that he's done his bit. Kind of needs the other parts around him to follow his lead.
Everybody's really excited to take Cloud Drakes today. We've had a couple of teams that really love it. This is another one, actually. You get the Skarner in there. Even Kennen's going to like it. So they'll be happy to take it. Now the Rakan is going to need it more than ever on this patch as well.
Actually a very high-value Cloud Drake now that you mentioned about it. Good catch there, because in-combat movement speeds for everyone, the out-of-combat movement speeds for people who are trying to catch, and you already outlined 3 of them. Gonna be happy to see that. Faker with enough AP. With Proto Belt in, then actually the Cassio matchup is a lot easier for him because he can just Q Proto Belt and then leave the minion wave and not take free damage. So we're getting to the point where things calm down in the mid lane. We're not getting any calm in the top side, but SKT seem to be aware that this camp is real.
They have their eye on it for now, as there will be Malrong spotted on the control ward, but does mean that Khan will have a bit of safety for now, and this turret is not going to go down just yet here.
This is not very exciting when he chases in there. Usually, Lightning Rush is something to be excited about, not to be seen here. Comet versus Press the Attack. Big laning investment by both. First turret played at 13 minutes is very delayed for the Cassio versus Sylas matchup, but been good roam timings on the side of Faker. What's the next play here? Clit loading up with his ultimate. Obviously at 13 minutes, no QSS is complete on either side, and well, let's do this one more time.
Yeah, let's do it again here, as Slicing Maelstrom does come in. Do they have the damage though? Look at Khan, able to flash out, is going to be able to go down though, as now Malrong will eat it, but actually the ult there from Faker stolen is going to make things dangerous for Linderong. Now we have an Ignite in the bottom lane, but that lane is a little bit different now as time has gone on.
No all-in could be completed. No depth charge invested too far up the lane. And they're not going to get this turret. That's the frustrating part for Jin Air. They can just go bot side and start to zone away people. They thought for sure they would have a turret top side. They don't pick it up.
And now you got Faker casually at 2-0-1 on the Sylas here in the mid lane. Got to be feeling pretty good about that one. He's going to probably get ahead of the Cassiopeia, or at least get close now with a little bit of that extra gold. But this story, definitely pretty good for Jin Air as they get 7 plates. SKT gets 0.
But the most recent story of the smart roam timings to stop the standing gold being claimed are eerily familiar if you cast your mind back to SKT versus Griffin LCK Spring Final, defending these turret dives. Griffin running their head into the lane they targeted again and again and again. The third, fourth times the charm is what Jinna is going for here, but it's easily read. SKT is well aware it's the only game plan Jinna have shown in this final game. They do well to move away from there, even though it's frustrating to give up the standing gold of that first turret blood.
Khan getting aggressive here once again. Actually going to use that blade and win this trade in a big way, so feeling pretty good about that one.
Blade of Ruin King kind of guarantees that no future sweet spots will be hit on the queue. That's Dan's first item, already complete from Linderong, so gonna have sustain in the lane, both of them do. Lifesteal in effect on both. Linderong doesn't have TP, so TP advantage here for SKT is something they can try to take advantage of. Khan doesn't represent a strong team fighter, but even just base damage, Slicing Maelstrom and crowd control could be big.
Saw an interesting thing there from the Ezreal. He used his True Shot Barrage through the jungle of Malrong, actually, just to get some vision. Instead of trying to push the lane, it doesn't do as much damage to minions anymore. Actually uses it for vision, so definitely not something you see all the time.
Sorry, my eyes were on Khan missing 2 easy last hits, including a cannon, so I found it hard to look away from that one.
Those are the ones you have to point out. You don't want to do everyone, but here's Klid, wants to point himself out, wanting to burst down this Aatrox, gonna make it look easy, and now they're gonna find Malrong here as Faker. He's got that Void Rush, he wants to get the kill. Malrong is gonna flash underneath though, and they are gonna respect it. Maybe Jin Air could take a page out of this book as to how not to get too far ahead of yourself.
Just happy that SKT opened up some of their old books and have been ahead of the play the last couple of moments. So Jinna's predictability being turned against them. SKT starting to gain a lot of control this game, and we're so far away from the previous point. Remember, 10 minutes ago it was, wait, 3 losing lanes and only 1 Skarner. How can they turn this around? That's by reading what Jin Air wanted to do before Jin Air even put their plan into action. And now we're in a much more even game that wasn't necessarily on the card. Watch the replay here. Klid's, of course, revealed. Clearing wards in that area, but Linderong walks up knowing that Rek'Sai's shadowing him. The timings don't work out. The flash still up on Skarner, and if he knew for sure the flash was up, wrong lane position once again from Linderong.
Yeah, if you were in solo queue, your Rek'Sai would be question mark pinging you a million times, but as you put it, in general, it's just the timing and not knowing exactly what the summoners are that can sometimes, unfortunately, get you in an awkward position like that. So good on SKT to make it happen, but it is just the 1 kill. We do have this Mountain Drake up here. Let's see if anyone wants to make a big move towards it.
And what Jin Air should respond with this is objective play. Their objective team is very fast and very good at turning. Cassiopeia, famous Baron taker, for example. So make the game about SKT coming to you. That is what Jin Air want to do. The moment you're grouping with an on-hit cannon, the moment that you're able to position your QSS members at the front and not allow Skarner easy targets, that's where things get better. They're using the TP from the Cassio here to try to keep this turret up.
Definitely an investment of sorts. The Cassiopeia not using it much to keep her own lane alive, so we'll use it there. Now, is Linderong going to go mid? Would be interesting to see if they go for that kind of swap, as Grace is going to stick around the top lane, and now actually they're going to throw Linderong down into the bottom side after that turret did go down and throw their bot lane into mid.
TP play was because they could go mid as top lane.
Ooh, nice dodge there. Looks easy, but now Grace trying to get in there and take that kill, but not quick enough, and Khan and the rest of his team will be able to take him down.
Great baiting done there by SKT's top laner. They knew that if the all-in was attempted, QSS would have to be used early, and thus trivial kill. QSS done for that play was what led to it being close, but it was only close to a point. SKT pick up another objective. That means this game is eerily even. Small gold lead, SKT.
Once again, another kill on the Sylas. So now Faker, who hasn't had the most pop-off series this time around, is slowly and quietly popping off here with a nice streak going. 3-0-1, has those 2 items completed, and will be a menace on this Sylas.
Nice foul first this time from Clid. We saw the Shirelias in the previous game. We'll see who he binds it to. You would assume the AD carry, just because of how things usually go, but also how this game is likely to play out. SKT, in a different fashion, want to play this out with a wide map, a 1-3-1, and then Skarner will be kind of bound towards Rakan and Ezreal. They're very much looking to make this map larger, whereas, as we outlined, Jin want to make it about objectives, not moments like this.
Let's do it again, say SKT. They're trying to dive this bottom turret this time around, and Aatrox much easier to kill, but how about starting a Baron here at 20 minutes? Awkward timing for SKT, and they have the Mountain Drake. Question is, will they have enough damage to do it anyway? As now TP coming in from the side of SKT. It's going to be Faker with a huge amount of damage. The spike comes in, and it's going to go the way of Root. He does pick it up, but who else is going to die on the backside of this one? And Faker going to be able to take out one. And Jin Air are on the run here. Although Faker getting a little bit far ahead of himself, but looking to go for the outplay here on the Grace. Gets the knock-up into the Rakan, and will be able to shut him down.
SKT mop up the kills. They get all but one on the side of Jin Air, largely just for the gold was that Baron buff. It's off the rip now. SKT don't have access to it, but the kills they were able to pick up do reset the equation a little bit.
That they do, and you can see that the Aatrox, he does not have that Baron buff. He was dead. He got dived down on the bottom side, and so he's not able to pick that one up. So Jin Air, they get the objective, but not much else to show for it.
That's why overall you'd really like it for SKT, because they keep the advantages they picked up from their follow kills. They're understandable from Jin Air to try to make this play because they have so much Baron damage with the Mountain Drake. But the all-in could have meant this Baron could have gone anywhere. It was an early smite from the Rek'Sai, and then Xayah, of all people, at 133 health, was the one to kill off that Baron. Faker has been so on point this game, roaming to keep SKT in a game that felt like it was out of their hands in the early game, and even pulls off the nice outplay to take down Grace at the end.
Hey, good dodge on that one. Cassiopeia is not much if you can't hit her Q, especially this early on in the game, and it was just a great engage overall, the TP, and you also had Mata swinging in from the bottom side, was able to charm 3 or 4 people. And it was just overall Jin Air grouping up, and the rest of SKT doing the easy follow-up job. So props to them, and now SKT in a much better spot in this game.
They're looking good, Valdez. Not for the entire piece, but definitely been in the lead more than previous games. Love the Luden's choice. Been kind of the standard so far in the LCK, but Iceborne Gauntlet, Miramana, Luden's means that you just throw down that ult from downtown. If you catch Root or Grace, suddenly they can't step up to the wave to try to clear it. That just means the turrets start rolling. So for now, SKT able to push multiple. It's not with Baron, 1-3-1 comp with Baron, and this would have been just the biggest of splitting headaches for Jin Air. Without the Baron, they still do a lot of work. The most Jin Air can hope for is they can extend this game till Root picks up his 3rd item.
Well, I've seen him do a nice job on the Xayah, and this was heavily prioritized. If you do remember, they wanted to take away the Xayah Rakan from the side of SKT. Already Root had a pretty good game on the Xayah. I feel like we're a long way away from him carrying on this one once again. Now SKT are going to have their own Mountain Drake, and now that the Baron was taken so early, it's actually going to be spawning here in another 3 minutes. So at about 26:40 is about to be the time when that does come through.
I believe Mata fat-fingered there, but it's hard to say. He might have just been really worried about someone over the wall. Doesn't really matter, but Redemption is now on cooldown for SKT. Jin Air are camping, they don't have that IE, and they have a comp, like we mentioned, that struggles to engage and needs SKT to come to them.
Okay, well, Depth Charge comes in, but that's a fast Pikachu. Not going to be catching that one.
When you don't control the map, you don't often get the 5v5 you want, Valdez. That's why teamfighting comps, when they lose this much map control, almost never get the good, honest 5v5 that they draft for.
See the immense pressure now in the red side jungle. SKT just makes it look pretty easy now with the lead on blue side. what they can do in terms of objectives this time around. It's going to be Khan with the help of a bit of damage from Ezreal to do a nice big chunk to that mid inner turret.
Root slows down his IE to finish QSS. 3 complete now on the side of Jinair. And SKT, with this map state, will just grow gold leads. They're just getting access to all but 1 or 2 of the jungle camps at every moment. A 4,000 to 5,000 gold lead will only grow. How will Jinair find a spot to fight back? Their hope will be a hope and a dream around the Baron, which spawns in a minute. But even getting there, it's not going to be a trivial problem. There is that Ludens. Teddy freshly shopped once more.
He's feeling pretty good. I already saw him chunking down Root in the mid lane before the shenanigans did start in this game. So Teddy definitely in his own comfortable spot, even though that early game was pretty atrocious overall for their lane.
You want to play towards your items, SKT should be making a Baron defense, and Cannon just wants to stay elsewhere. His build is single target lane focus, so he just wants to split push down an inhibitor while SKT have Baron control. That Baron spawning in 35 seconds. They'll need another vision trip, and just as we say it, 7 control wards already in the inventory from SKT.
Let's see how they can make this next Baron work. Coming up in about 20 seconds. The question is, can Jinair do much? They'd like to get that Aatrox involved in a team fight, but take a look at the Baron side of the map. There's not a single good teleporting ward. There's one around the red buff, but it's not going to get you behind anything. He's just going to have to straight up walk on over and see what they can get started here. Their engage tools are going to be basically Nautilus.
And we're ready for the party to get started. SKT have Jinair exactly where they want them, but Jinair have been able to knock down the dominoes this series way better than in previous seasons. So there is always the outside chance of outplay, but SKT are trying to paper over any crack in the armor here. And they're going to even force out Root's ultimate, which means suddenly his team fighting is much less assured.
Not sure if he had to do that, but better safe than sorry. You never know where the follow-up damage will come from. Not only from Sylas, but the Ezreal that was coming down the lane. So it looks silly, but sometimes you just got to do it.
And now you start counting blue trinkets. There is the blue trinket. You've got the vision control we mentioned, and you've got a cannon who is best used to stop Aatrox from teleporting. So everything is set up for SKT. Looking for a pick.
Balrog has to flash as Kled was thinking about it, has his own flash, but not going to force it there. He got too far away. So instead of that, let's take some other objectives. How about another mid lane turret here for the side of SKT?
There is no controlled decision to make for Jinair. They have to be bold. They have to try something. It feels harsh to ask for more on a team that's already done so much today. Jinair have had a very respectable performance, but to leave with any points, have to find a way to change this game state because SKT are strangling them out of game number 3.
You see the amount of damage that Teddy's able to do to help out on the push on the bottom side. Even Root had to take a big chunk from that one. And they just say, yeah, we don't need Baron yet. We're going to take out inner turrets first. As an incredible amount of damage across the board to not only structures, but champions is coming through here from SKT. And their pockets are growing deeper and wider as they're pushing their lead now to about 6,000 gold here.
Someone's going to have to nerf Faker's pockets because he's shopping now and he already had a lot. And you know what? He's been doing some reading. He's got a new bestseller this week, and this one could be some sweet, sweet reading for the SKT fans.
I wonder what it's like to read off of a Medjai's. Looks very fun, but maybe not so great for your eyes. But probably good for the amount of damage you can do in fights, as he already had a death count. So why not? He's like, there's not really any other big item that I really need, so.
Faker gave the famous interview answer where he bought a very clear manner Medjai's. I call that for the Medjai's where you're winning by so much, just build it, because why not? And the hook will land. Fanciful hook.
Yeah, and a depth charge too. He's like, okay, well, hello. And, see you later. As Faker's just walking by this brush, he's like, yeah, I don't really care. You're not going to be able to do enough lethal damage to me.
Faker, when asked about his mana mage, I said, well, I had the gold, so I bought it. His famous, like, no, I wasn't being disrespectful answer, and I'm sure he would give a similar answer on this one. Keeps the control ward slot alive. And that's one reason to do about it. As the non-IRO reason is that otherwise you have to sell a 10-stack Dark Seal. So upgrading Magi's and keeping a control ward slot can sometimes be a better move than going for just a Needless Large Rod, and that's fine.
Okay, well, they're just going to burst him down. That's that duo synergy as Teddy and Mata make Balrog a piece of dust.
Well, now they're going to make Baron a piece of dust, and best of luck, Jin Air. Stop it.
Kellen's marching forward. As I mentioned before, he is the engage. And the rest of them looking to just turn this one around. Charge onto Grace here, as you can see the insane amount of damage that is coming out from the side of SKT. They're just going to make them off of this rift here, as Root now is going to try to do a nice amount of damage, but it is not enough alone, and SKT are now pushing for the win.
SKT should be able to close the game here. They're TPing back to keep the minions alive. Is Khan. Get his health bar back as well. SKT too good. They show their class, but only in game number 3 of a series that on another day was dangerously close to a 2-0.
This was the game that made sense. The other two, I'm not so sure, Papa Smithy. So Linderong here alongside Malrong, going to try to do their best. The two wrongs, not enough to stop SKT from banging the door here.